Good afternoon, everyone. This is Deb Slutmone, and I'm going to walk us all through payroll year-end closing today. So, hope everyone is ready. I know they only gave us a half an hour to try to get through this, and I will do my absolute best. But hopefully, everyone can see my screen. And just a couple of quick housekeeping items. Down at the bottom of your go-to webinar pane, you have a questions area. If you can go ahead and just put in any questions you have, anytime that maybe you say, hey, I just didn't catch that last part, go ahead and fill those in there. The other thing is we'll go ahead and sometime from time to time we'll put out a poll and have you answer questions just to make sure that we are going ahead and getting you good content. So again, welcome everyone. We're doing payroll year end and I'm jumping right in. So again, feel free, ask questions. I have you all muted right now. During the half hour, we'll actually go ahead and take you guys off the mute side so that way you can ask questions as well and chat with the rest of the group. Okay, so let's talk payroll year end. And I'm sure a lot of you already have plotted how many payrolls you have left in December. I know for us, we have one, maybe 1.5 left. Finished off our first payroll of December. And so now what we're really thinking here is what other things do we have to get into that final payroll, right? Things like if you had any gift cards, any benefits that you gave to employees that haven't processed through payroll yet that are taxable, make sure you start thinking about those now and getting those in so payroll can process them during the last pay run. Remember, we can't process benefits through the system without a pay code attached. So if you have employees that maybe receive gift cards throughout the year and you need to make them taxable and you don't have another pay code to run them against, those are going to be a little bit more dicey and you're going to need to do those through manual checks. So be thinking about those things and getting them done now while you still have possibly one, maybe two payrolls left in the year. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and make sure that your year is set up for 2019. So if you notice, I'm just going to Tools, Setup Company, and over to my fiscal periods. Now, for some of you, your window will come in and you'll see maybe a 2018. Some of you may already have a 2019. To make 2019, go ahead and just populate that year with 2019 and hit your tab key. At this point, the window, if you haven't made 2019 already, should just clear. Your periods would be empty down here, and you can go ahead and use your calculate button. My 2019 was already made. That's why mine was already repopulated. Okay. Now, at the same time, if my 2018 was displayed, the last thing that I want to do is change those dates to 2019 because then I am updating this current year. Okay. So kind of keep an eye out for your payroll for your year and make sure that your year is set up. The other thing right now is we want to make sure that we have all payroll processing done before we start thinking year end. Now, you guys all know that we still have a quarter to process, so we still have to do all of our FUTA, our SUTA, all of our things we need to do regularly reconciling our payroll. So be thinking about those as well. And when you're looking at your screen, your year right now at the bottom is set to, mine is set to 11/27, 2018. As I go across into January, two big items to note. So make sure, make a list of things to remember as I'm starting to process the first payroll into January, right? So I might be doing that on 12/31, right? No big New Year's plans for me. I'm going to be doing payroll, but I'm doing payroll at 12/31 here. Well, that 12/31 payroll can't process for a 2019 payroll. Okay, so you want to make sure if you're getting messages and you're trying to do your 2019 payrolls, get that date into 2019. Okay, just go ahead and click on it, change yourself into 2019. Okay, at the same time, if you are trying to run your FUTA SUTA and you're sitting in January, probably, January 3rd, January 4th, running your FUTA SUTA like good payroll people, you're going to have to switch that date back to 12/31 of 18 as well to get yourself back into that year. So kind of remember, we've got some date things as we're going across, but we still can work between the 2 years, but just really be ready for those, okay? We get a lot of questions on my year isn't set up. it won't let me process my 2019 payroll in a panic. Let's save each other a little panic here, and let's just make sure that we really keep an eye on those dates, okay? Good. Now, big things for us this year is right now we don't have any W-2, W-3 changes. So that means there is a payroll year-end update out for versions 15 and 18. All right, 13s are not getting a payroll year-end. So, but with no W-2, W-3 changes, really we can have a little bit of timing on when to apply that year-end update. However, I still recommend for all companies getting that done as part of your year-end process. Now, a big thing right now, too, guys, is since we are sitting at 12/6, I know what is happening to December, right? 12/6, you have a few more days to get your tax update in for 2018. So Terry thought that they would probably release new tables for 19 around the 15th of December. That means for all of you that are really good at taking your payroll year-end, or sorry, payroll tax updates frequently, you want to make sure you take one now, okay? Just make sure you have it so that way as you're processing your W-2s, if you've missed anything throughout the year, you have that. And to do it, you just go to your maintenance and to US payroll updates. Now, I will tell you, if you don't have admin privileges on the box that you're on, you might get an error message when you run these, okay? You just have to go ahead and make sure you right click on your GP icon and say run as admin, or have an admin person run those for you. If your system says that you already took the update, perfect, you are completely up to date. If you've forgotten to take an update, you might have that mid-year update maybe that didn't get taken. This is just only updating the tax tables. So as long as you're getting your FICA and your Medi ones, that's the main ones that I'm always making sure of this time of year, that companies, if they missed anything in January, that they are catching them now. So that way, again, we're not finding it on the W-2 pass process as far as, you know, we're already into 2019 and now we're going to have to do some manual updates to both W-2s and 941s, okay? So if you haven't taken a tax update for a while and you're like a little bit worried, take one today. Don't take one again until you get across to 2019 and you make sure your W-2s are done, okay? Like I said, right now we're still waiting on some additional changes for the 2019 items, but there's no W-2, no W-3 changes. There are some 1099 dividend changes that are included in that payroll year-end update. So keep in mind that on the code portion, the pieces that we're running, it's on each client, those pieces are still being done. A lot of you have already been contacted. 2018s, we'll get to R2 with that payroll year-end update as well. So lots of good things there. But I wanted to really talk to you about processing, because I'm more of what do we need to get done today to really make sure we're ready. We're ready for what's coming at us. Plotting out those dates as far as when is our last payroll going to be done? How much time do I have, right? Looking at that overall calendar, what are my timetables between my payrolls are done, any final things coming in, 12/31, you know, making sure that everything is inclusive before we start doing FUTA-SUTAs, before we really start thinking W-2s. However, let's just do a quick little test here on mine, because tools, routines, remember payroll, okay, and you could be running these from your payroll palettes as well, however you like to run your system, okay. And if I bring up my whole payroll menu here, I'm going to be working mostly in the routines section, okay? And I think really it's a good idea to get everybody really comfortable with this process, because there's a lot of things that we can do easily, even now inside of main company, okay, to take a look at what's happening for year-end closing. So I'm going to go ahead and use my first option, which is year-end closing, okay? And I can do this with or without the year-end update, guys, just so you know, okay? And I'm noting here my year to close is 2018, because that is my calendar year end that I'm working on. I'm going to go ahead and process this through. For those of you that are using PTO Manager, pay attention to this message. It's saying, do you want to apply carryover and update your PTO, year-to-date amounts? Now, if I'm just doing a test and I'm in my live production and I'm not ready to do this, say cancel. Don't update those, okay? But let your year-end process run. If you're not using PTO Manager, don't even give that one a second thought, okay? Now, with that, I just ran my year-end closing, okay? So my payroll is ready to look and preview either my year-end wage report or looking at my W-2s. So a couple of things here, guys, on this year-end wage report. I mean, it definitely is a great report. Those of you that like to have a printed doc, go ahead, run it to your screen, get a look at the volume of that report, save it out to PDF. Has lots of great information per each and every one of your employees, right? So those of you that like that good nighttime reading, okay, this is your nighttime reading. At the same time, if I look at the bottom of this, you're going to see some recaps as well overall. Let me just get us all the way down to the bottom of this report. Okay, so those of you, definitely screen by employee is great, but here's really what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my tie outs, my federal wage compared to those 941s, right? My Social Security and my Medicare. Where am I at here overall? What is showing up on my employee W-2s to what is on my 941s? Looking at my income tax withheld. As you're processing those final 941s, again, if you're reconciling out every payroll or every quarter, you know exactly where these are going to be at. If you haven't done that and you maybe find a difference, you need to catch it now and either reconcile it out, find out what's caused it, or let's make some adjustments. So our 941s, again, need to match 100% to those W-2s that are processed, okay? And just so some of you know, we still are getting a few letters on 2017 as SSA is getting caught up through 2017 where a mismatch may have occurred. So kind of keep in mind that we're almost at 19, but we're still dealing with 17 fallout. So make sure that all of your payrolls tie out and that your W-2s are tying out to your 941s, okay? At the same time, one of my favorite things here is looking at those states and again, tying out all of those state wages to the federal wages here as well and kind of getting an update on those, making sure that our deductions, our 401ks are matching to what our 401ks are withheld. Some of those things can really tell us if we have an issue with our W-2 box, okay? So that is on our year-end wage report. And again, like I said, you can save that off to PDFs or not. And remember, we started this all with our year-end closing routine. Same time, the next button that I'm going to go into is I'm looking here at my edit W-2s. So if I want to take a look at each of them, I can go ahead and just push myself forward and see, oh, right away I see that Aaron needs a little bit of assistance with his address. Okay, so I could be filling in some additional there. And now I'm really seeing what is on, if I looked at my summary screen for my employee, I am seeing the wages, the Social Security wages, and the Medicare, along with the withholding, okay? If I had any flex for dependent care, I'd be seeing that, as same with any non-qualified plans here. If you aren't good at updating all of your retirement plan checkboxes on the federal tax screen, this is a good time to get those caught up. And as you're looking at previews, remember that retirement plan does come from the tax information box. We have a couple scripts that we can run on those as well to help if they have this type of a deduction or benefit that the retirement plan is checked for them. Okay. A couple other things on this window is notice that you have your specials. Okay, any of your boxes here. This is a great time to start looking at, do I have all my pay codes, all my benefits and my deductions on the correct W-2 box? Okay, and again, my poor guy here, he doesn't have any deductions or benefits. Same time with my states. Do I have my correct employer IDs on my state boxes? Do I need to make a change and update? Do my wages match what they should match per employee, federal matching to state if applicable? Okay. If you're doing your 1095s, at the same time I'm generating that W-2 file, remember I'm generating that 1095 and that dependent file if I need to. Okay. So these are my individual W-2s here as well. And if you notice, I do have a print option from here that's taking me back to that employee wage report. So guys, once I get done editing, making all of my changes, making sure that everything is in sync as it should be, my next option really would be to go to my printing. And depending upon which version you're on, you might have a few different areas here to take a look at, but really take a look, make sure that your company information is correct, right? Make sure that your EIN is correct. Okay, run your validation. If you're running these in your test, run your validation now. See what kind of issues you have. Somebody's missing something. Somebody has wages that aren't equaling what they need to be. Uh-oh, my validation does not look good, guys. This is a lot for me in my little poor company. Oh, I got some invalids. Okay, might have to go back and pull out the I-9 information, grab that information that we gathered when we took the SSN. Be looking for some of these. Oh, I've got a lot. My SSN starting with 9 evidently are not like, just so you guys know. I'm also seeing some FICAs that are mismatching here for calculations. Those, again, take a look at those. It could be a sign of something bigger that we need to take a look at, okay? The 22 characters for address lines, if you're not doing any magnetic media, maybe not a big deal, but if you're doing magnetic media, just know that those are going to be cut off, okay? So again, take a look at this. Be seeing what's happening on either an SSN or wages or something incorrect as far as another calculation, okay? Again, a lot of good information there. We still have plenty of time to do fixes and do corrections, okay? At the same time here, if you notice, I have the option of printing my W-2s, printing my W-3. Some of you like to have that W-3 handy just as you go through your 941 tie-outs, okay? I'm printing it here just to show you again, it's going to be without the boxes here at the W-3. Some of you actually still print this to your red form, even though you might be doing your electronic. Perfectly fine. It's just great for a reference, okay? At the same time, as I go to my W-2s and print my W-2s, one big thing, depending upon which version you're on, you might have an additional version for the form, to actually printing the form. And forgive me, guys, I should have loaded this into our 2018, so you could have seen it on our 2018. But that is where I have the option to print with the boxes. So I can actually print a full form. And great thing is I'm going to go through this year at year end and pull out any of those old forms and say, see ya, because I'm never going to worry about reprinting again, okay? So kind of a fun thing there. So once again, I can go ahead and use my print here at the top, print my W-2s. If I need to make an adjustment for, you know, thinking sometimes they just don't fit, if some of you are still printing a form, keep in mind when I go to my print, my pre-printed form option right here is going to be a plus and a minus on these to move it either up or down, left or right, okay? So you just go ahead and set that in and then finish your printing, okay? Now, a couple things here as well as I'm looking at my printing of my W-2s. Even if you're not running an electronic filing, okay, this report does give you a lot of good information from here. So I'm going to pretend I'm not running any electronics, okay? If you are running your electronics, remember you do need your BSO numbers, and you need to make sure your submitter information is filled in completely. I have seen some SSA kickbacks because the information here is not filled out. And I will tell you, some of you will have an icon right here. After I get through mine, you may see it on mine, but it has some additional employer information. Make sure that you get everything in that checkbox or that little icon filled in as well if you have that icon, because you will need that and they will kick out. Where this file saves at does put a lot of information at risk. I will tell you, if you notice mine is sitting here at my local C drive. If someone gets to my local C drive, right now I'm on my shared server. If somebody has access to this, I could be giving them a lot of information that I may not want to, okay? So be careful where that is being set, that W-2 report. make sure to go and use your icon here and put it somewhere where, again, is safe and secure. That's got SSNs, it's got wage information, name. I mean, someone can really get a lot of information quickly. Okay, so keep an eye out for that. I'm in my test company, so I'm going to go ahead and use my create here. And the reason why I like this is just because of some of the information that I get when I am doing this process. Okay, so I'm creating my file, and it's actually creating a file that I could submit if I needed to. Some of you are using green shades and using those to get across for W-2s and for your filings. Okay. One of my favorite things about this process is the summary report that comes with it. So my year-end wage file may be huge, my year-end wage report, when really if I'm looking at just getting the exact information that's being processed. And I'm going to get this so it's a little bit, well, sorry guys, I was going to try to make it smaller, but I'm going to take it back so it's a little bit more readable. So hopefully this is good on your screen. So if you've never played with this report, again, in your test company, take a look at it, but it's going to give you a lot of good information. On mine, evidently, I must have an issue here. Maybe I just probably didn't wait for it to finish because I'm getting zeros on my boxes here. But at the same time, you can see that one had a lot of good information on it. Let me try creating my file again. Oh, I'm missing a submitter. Sorry. I'm missing my email. Sorry about that, guys. That's why my file didn't create. And again, even if you're not using this to file, it's can't type and talk. It's creating a great look for us for year end. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create again. And let me get it to a spot where I can create because I probably just don't have access there. Okay, yep. And create file. Okay, there we go. So that same file I can come in here and regenerate with my print button at the top. But here's really, once it's created that file, you're seeing again my total wages. I'm seeing my federal, all my things that I was going to the very end of my W-2s for on my year-end wage file report. I was also seeing these types of things in my W-3, but without the additional information of the box labels. And I know for some of us, those box labels are crucial as I'm looking at that W-3 reprint. Okay. Good. Just another way for you to have a nice, easy tie out. Keep this one, if you are submitting off of this file, keep this one with your paperwork for the end of year. It is critical if you ever have a question as far as, was it submitted? What was on the submission? Okay. Good. And remember, your BSOs right now, if you haven't been on Business Service Online for a while, you don't know your passwords, start getting all of those things now. If you're not having green shades do your filing, make sure you're starting to re-request those as well. So guys, so far, we have ran through, we've done our year-end close, we printed some W-2s, we looked at editing and what things we could do to edit and what things we may need to do to edit. One big thing is when you're looking at those deductions and benefit codes, remember, if you're putting box numbers in, be very careful on those box numbers to make sure that you are not doubling them because they still have the ability here to hide those between. So like on these, you're seeing there's 13D. Well, if someone puts that 13D in or they advance it where they can't see it, what's going to happen is that deduction is going to double. And you just don't want that to happen on your W-2s. So tie out all of those deductions back to your payroll summary, deduction, and benefit reports. Okay? Good, good, good. Now, if you're printing your 1099-Rs, you have your 2 steps here for them for retirement plans. These are not for your dividend, miscellaneous. These are for retirement plans. So only a few of you actually do that. Okay, and another big thing is I've been over here under routines, but for most of you, there's another step that I'm just going to point out if you do want to do some processing ahead of time, that if I am over here and I'm in my utilities section now, and the one thing that I'll tell you is you have the ability to remove your year-end information. So if you notice, here are my 3 years. Now, if I'm really done with 17 and I filed, the last thing I want to do is remove that 17 year end. But for 18, I was just in testing on my 18. And so I still have that payroll to process, remember? So I'm going to go ahead and insert my 18 in, and I'm going to process that remove payroll year end. because that's just giving me the ability to continue my payrolls now in 18, even though I've ran some testing, I've taken a look at my W-2s, and I've taken a look at where I'm at in my tie out process, and I'm really, really comfortable with where I'm at. So I'm going to remove that year end so I can keep working on my payrolls for 2018. So guys, we're down to just a few minutes left. Like I told you, it was going to be fast and furious. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to open up the phone so everyone can ask questions. I'm not seeing any questions right now. So guys, feel free, ask some questions. At the same time, I'm going to go ahead and open up the phones. And this is usually where I have my biggest hurdle, is trying to get my phones to go so everybody can talk as well. So go ahead and start filling out questions. If you have questions on year end, if you have worries, if there's things that I can answer, let me know. I wanted to kind of give everybody just a quick update as far as everything that's coming at them. I'm happy you guys spent a half an hour with us. I know it gets to be really fast, but let me know if there's things I can answer. And I think I'm going to get the phones to actually open up, which is good. You know, I'll know that I'm technically challenged. So yeah, I think I've got everybody off of mute. Unless you've personally muted your phone, you can go ahead and, okay, and everybody should be on. So go ahead, ask questions, okay? Everybody ready for year end? I know it's coming up fast.
Hey Deb, this is Brandon. There are a couple questions in the questions pane.
Oh, must be new questions, Brandon. Great.
So the first one is, can you print 1099s on blank paper?
On version 2015, no.
2015.
No, I don't believe so. And I think we can, Green Shade's still probably going to be your best options. Even if you don't want to do all the filings, you can still upload your 1099s to Green Shades for 31 cents a form, which is super cheap compared to buying forms online. And then you have the ability. So if you're only doing 10 1099s, okay, easy math for me today, your Green Shades cost would be $3.10. Even if you're like me and have to print those 1099s 100 times because you keep screwing them up, it's only still $3.10. Okay, so you only pay for the form, the one vendor equals a form, and it's 31 cents. And you can upload those with a Excel load, and like I said, you don't have to worry about alignment, you don't have to worry about printing, and then you can still send in your 1096. You can grab that from the IRS office if you need to, and still cheaper than buying a 25 pack of forms. Okay.
What about as a follow-up question they had, can you print the W-2s on blank paper?
You can print the W-2s on blank paper if you are on 2018 or 2. Okay.
What about 2015?
Not on 2015, not for W-2s. So no. Okay. Great question.
Good question.
There, great questions. But remember, Green Shades is probably my best option, and I will tell you again, 31 cents a form. It's hard to buy forms for that, and you don't have to do all the filings. You can still just use your form count, and still cheap, a nice cheap option. And with Green Shades, you could do you still can give the employees even the site to be able to load their forms or to get their forms. So if you have people that lose their forms a lot, like we all do, it's a great way for them to go in and get it from any internet site. So if they're at their CPA, their tax guy, and they call you in a panic and you're like, okay, Jim, I need my forms. I forgot to bring them. Jim can say, go out to this site and get them because they're right there waiting for you. Okay. So lots of good things there on that Green Shade side. If you guys haven't played with that one at all, let us know. We can definitely do more on getting information out to people on that. But it's just a great way. If you ever have to dig through an old box to find somebody's W-2 or find complete PDF copies of those as well. So nice way just to archive your information. If you have been at Green Shades in the past, make sure you're archiving your 2017 199 to get your archives done. And like for us, we probably produce 30 W-2s. I know it seems like a lot, doesn't it? Yeah, no, I know you guys think that's a tiny number, but even the archiving for us, it takes care of our W-2s, our 1099s, and everything for last year. So if somebody's going and doing a house, usually it's 2 years, sometimes 3, but getting that extra year of archive is just, it's a good deal for 199. Okay. Okay. Brandon, I see there's another one in there. Is there a smart list to show the issues like the one you showed for the invalid SSN? Oh, great question, Erica. And you know what, guys, there's all kinds of smart lists. There really is. And depending upon what you like, the other thing that I will tell you, if you have Smart List Builder, probably the best thing that you can do is hook your year-end wage tables right to Smart List. Okay. And I'm telling you, we could do in a whole additional hour just on how to do that. And I'll probably see, Brandon, if you could see if Katie and maybe Chelsea can set us up for another year-end payroll one where we can get everybody back together and just take a look at some of the smart lists that we can generate to do W-2 information. Okay, so just super quick here. Well, Brandon, I know you're looking at other questions, so thanks for helping me. I'm going to go ahead and just run my year end really quick again. Okay, just so you can see. So my 2018, same thing. And I reset mine that time, but I'm in my test company. You guys don't do that. Pay attention to those windows. Don't be fast like me. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to my Smart List Builder here. And in my Smart List Builder, I'm going to hook up some of those year-end wage tables. Okay, so if you haven't done these before, just go ahead and just make a just go ahead and make a make a year-end wage one. And if you notice, I'm seeing all of my tables here when I'm in Smart List Builder. And I have my year-end header, I have my year-end wage. And you know what, guys? This is so easy. You guys all can do this. Sometimes you may have to hook another table together if you want to add in your state information. Very easy to do. And you just basically tell it that I want to hook in all of my tables, okay, all my fields, so sorry. Okay, at the same time, I'm just going to save on this one. Oopsie-doo, got to add in my payroll here. Keep those in your payroll series so they're safe. Okay, and now as I go back, and remember, it's not going to be super pretty, guys. That took me a half a second to make it, okay? And you guys all can do that. I know you can. If you own Smart List Builder, you have that one. Here's my year-end wage, and look at, there is so much information here. Now, this one's bringing in all my years, and I let it do that because that way I can tell it that, let's see, I just want to see my 2018, and I think, Brandon, I should have 40 records here because that's what I was doing. My, oh, there you go, I have a few more. And now you can see here's all my guys, some of their base information. And this is really what's populating onto your W-2s, W-2 guys. And, you know, depending upon which pieces you want to bring in, you know, there, look at, there's your wage buckets. I'm off. I know I'm off. What is it? What guy am I off? Okay, heads up. Those pesky 1095s gave me some inactive. So still have that issue, guys. That's not been fixed yet. So just lots of good ways to be able to look at that information and pull that together, okay? Brandon, other questions that you have from the question pane or from the audience?
No, I don't see any other in the question pane.
Okay, well, I know we're just a few minutes over, so Brandon, forgive us, but I thought that was a good little piece to add in. So Erica, great questions. Jim, great questions. Thank you. Okay, so Brandon, I think we'll call this one a wrap. And everyone, have a great day. Happy year end. Hard to believe it's already December, down to, I think, what, Brandon? 19 days of shopping? 18 daes of shopping?
Doesn't the Christmas app tell you?
It does tell me, but you know what? I just haven't had enough time to check it lately. And most days, it kind of scares me now when it's getting down to low numbers of days with lots of shopping left, right? But
That's right.
yeah. And Brandon, I know that there's a lot of requests for my Christmas app as far as number of days, how to run it. And just so you know, the Christmas app says that I do only have 18 days of physical shopping. And just so you know, it says I'm still under budget. Okay.
I think the interest comes where people are wondering what you are getting them for Christmas.
Oh, no, 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 no. It's all about the statistics, not the counts. It's the statistics. Are you under budget or over budget? And how many days left to buy? And how many total have you wrapped? Okay, thanks everyone so much. Have a great rest of your day and join us again. I know the team's got tons of new webinars planned, and we look forward to your feedback and are super excited to have you guys all join us for webinars. Have a great holiday if I don't talk to you before, and thank you so much.